Hello. When we call an event historic, it usually means one of two things. It was either extraordinarily good or horrifically bad. And this next song was written in no uncertain terms with the latter in mind. We're going back to a notorious event that happened almost 30 years ago in the city of Los Angeles. And it was an event that would change policing in the USA forever. It's the 1997 North Hollywood Shootout. Performed by the legendary thrash metal band Megadeth, it's written by Dave Mustaine and Sean Drover, 2009, and released on the Endgame album. And the title is a reference to the duration of the incident, which was around 44 minutes. And by all accounts, it was 44 minutes of chaos and bloodshed. Now, to tell you the truth, I'd heard of the event, but didn't really know too much about it. I know that there was a film made about it some time ago, but and also this particular track. I'm familiar with early Megadeth stuff, but I hadn't heard this album, so hadn't heard the song either. So really looking forward to hearing it, and let's go.
Requesting assistance. We have a 211 in progress at the Bank of America. We have shots fired. Help, BMA. Suspects are in the bank. Now approach the bank.
Shots are being fired from AK-47. There is an officer down.
We are all pinned down by automatic gunfire.
It was a cool winter's morning, somewhere shortly past 9 a.m. The unmarked car they wanted, the heist wasn't coming, so instead they went for the bank. The faithful duo decide in a getaway car, heavily sedated with thousands of miles. While the piercing 40 automatic weapons, the pulsing breath poured out on the ground. Baptized in a firefight, hot blood running cold as ice. 44 minutes of target practice, all hell's breaking loose. I'm done watching the...
Okay, just briefly. God, that's straight into it there, isn't it? That beginning, it's a sort of collage of different news reports. You can hear, there's an officer down. It's like a police radio thing going on in the background as well. They mention AK-47s, so fully automatic weapons as well. And of course this is 1997, right? So we're now living in an age where there's live TV coverage, and apparently the TV news crews had helicopters over the incident as well when it was happening, so they were following it. So you can imagine, being a resident in LA when this was happening. It was pretty unnerving, I would have thought. But you've got that... there's an interesting layer of guitars as well at the beginning, which is kind of cool. And I don't know, is there synth in there as well? I mean, I hadn't listened to Megadeth for a while, and so, yeah, it could be synth. But, let's have a look at the text. It was a cool winter's morning. Somewhere shortly past 9 a.m., the armoured car they wanted to heist wasn't coming, so instead they went for the bank. Yes, this is in February 1997, so... the fateful duo that sat in the getaway car, heavily sedated with thousands of round, armoured piercing, fully automatic weapons. The bowls of wrath poured out on the ground. Yeah, the fateful duo. Yeah, they were Larry Phillips Jr. and Emil Mataratsrianu, which is Romanian. And apparently he was, I think, born in Romania and moved to the States when he was young. And apparently they weren't your average bank robbers, these two guys. They'd robbed at least 2 other banks prior to this incident. And the tactics they used were, well, pretty much going along with their automatic rifles, getting past the security doors, and basically taking control of the entire bank. And apparently the weapons were modified for fully automatic fire. There were also suspects in 2 armed car robberies in the mid-90s. And in one of those, a guard had been killed. And such was their reputation among LA investigators, they were even given a special moniker. They were called the High Incident Bandits. And until this North Hollywood incident, their identities were unknown. So they had a reputation, I think because of the fact that they were so heavily armed. And I don't know, do you remember that movie Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro? Apparently, Phillips and Matasarianu were inspired by the movie. And it says on their previous bank robberies, they had timed their hold-ups for the mornings when they knew cash had been delivered. And they used this same method when planning the heist of the North Hollywood Bank. So that must refer to where Dave Mustaine sings the armoured car they wanted to heist wasn't coming. So instead they went for the bank. I don't know. According to this, they were waiting for the delivery, but the delivery never turned up. Baptized in a firefight. Hot blood running cold as ice. 44 minutes of target practice. All hell's breaking loose. Boy. Okay, let's get back to the music.
Hot blood running cold as ice. 44 minutes of target practice. All hell's breaking loose.
Guns.
Watching the boss come to a firefight with a pocket knife. Didn't stood until they shot Achilles' heel and brought down the beat. This was an accident waiting to happen. It wasn't if it would happen, it was when the city's people sabotage themselves, cutting their firepower and the needed expense.
Okay. Oui. Well, that's telling, isn't it? This part. Outgunned, watching the force, being the police force, come to a firefight with a pocket knife. Basically, they didn't have the firepower. Getting schooled until they shot Achilles' heel and brought down the beast, which is referencing, basically, I suppose, the end of these 2 bank robbers there. But yeah, outgunned. Hang on. They were waiting for a delivery. They didn't realize the delivery wasn't there, so they'd expected, apparently, $750,000 to be inside the vault. But because the delivery hadn't made it, there was only $300,000. And due to the fact that everything had gone sideways, so things hadn't gone to plan, the hold-up had taken longer as well. So when they emerged from the Bank of America, which was the branch in North Hollywood, they were immediately surrounded by police. But, yeah, they were surrounded by police, but as it states here, the police were outgunned, pretty much. The police had 9mm pistols and pump-action shotguns, and the bank robbers had a Beretta 92FS pistol, 5 rifles, a semi-automatic HK-91, and illegally converted weapons equipped with drum magazines. 2 Norinco Type 56S rifles, a fully automatic Norinco Type 56S1, and a fully automatic Bushmaster XM15 dissipator. I mean, I don't understand any of this because I'm not familiar with guns, but it all sounds pretty... It was equipped with a triangular M16A1 style handguard. They had 3,300 rounds of ammunition. You could see why they were quite confident they could shoot their way to freedom, I suppose. I mean, especially if the police only had 9mm pistols and some pump-action shotguns. Okay, this is interesting as well. This was an accident waiting to happen. It wasn't as if it would happen, it was when. The city's people sabotaged themselves, calling their firepower an unneeded expense. I guess it all comes down to the governor of California and all that kind of stuff, and the states having their own laws about things. But in the lyrics, it's kind of insinuating that this could have been avoided, and they had already discussed arming police in the past, and they disregarded it. But yeah, these guys were fully loaded, weren't they? 3,300 rounds. Dave Mustaine, he's really... I mean, this is cold, sneering stuff, isn't it? I mean, he's very good at that anyway, right? But, I mean, he's just coming out with the facts as they are. Okay, let's get back to the music.
The two most violent men, it seemed, couldn't be stopped. Standard police issue guns were just not enough. Once one arrived and settled the fight between AK-47 and AR-15. Baptized in a firefight, hot blood running cold as ice. 44 minutes of target practice, all hell's breaking loose. How good watching the forest come to a firefight with a pocket knife. Keep it cool until they shot Achilles' heel. When rock out the beat.
Okay. So quickly on about this part now. The two most violent men, it seemed, couldn't be stopped. Standard police issue guns were just not enough. Yeah. But SWAT arrived and settled the fight between AK-47 and AR-15. So the SWAT team kind of rebalanced the firefight. Actually, there's something a little bit interesting. It says here that the police were so desperate, and obviously they were probably wave after wave, they couldn't do anything about it, but there was a nearby gun shop, and they were able to commandeer some AR-15s. But then 18 minutes after the shooting began, the SWAT team arrived with their AR-15s, which is what the text in the song is referencing. And it's pretty much when the police started to take control, you know. And yeah, you go back to the baptized in a firefight, hot blood running cold as ice, 44 minutes of target practice, all hell's breaking loose. Okay, get back to it. Well, that's good.
Baptized in a firefight, hot blood running cold as ice. 44 minutes.
God. That section in the middle. I love that change of riff. It's kind of crunchy and it means business, doesn't it? Around 9:52 a.m., the bank robbers split up outside the bank. Phillips crouched behind a truck to continue shooting at the police, but his rifle jammed. He was shot in the hand, and Phillips killed himself rather than get caught. And Matassarianu tried to hijack a vehicle, but the guy who owned the vehicle took the keys with him as he ran off. So then Matassarianu was stranded, couldn't do anything about it. So then I think there was a small firefight, and the police could see his legs under the vehicle, and they were unprotected, and they shot him 29 times. And then he surrendered, but was severely injured. Again. Well, the double bass, yeah. What a cool finish as well. It's very matter of fact, and the way that Dave Mustaine is he's just basically delivering the facts in a very snarly way as well, which is great, you know, the way he does that. Yeah, it was a battlefield, wasn't it? And the legacy of this is the fact that the police changed the way they look at arming themselves, because they were outgunned, totally outgunned. There was a review by the Los Angeles Police Commission. It was a 25-page document. It's estimated that the bank robbers had fired 1,100 rounds, which is approximately 1 round every 2 seconds. I mean, that's unbelievable. And it essentially tells a harrowing narrative of the first wave of officers arriving being cut to pieces. It sounds like something out of World War I, you know, over the trenches and just being mowed down. There was a total of 2,000 rounds fired between everyone. And amazingly, it was the 2 bank robbers were the only fatalities. So, yeah, 11 officers and 7 civilian bystanders were injured. And it's the most violent bank robbery in US history. Oh. Yeah, there was a lawsuit filed against the city authorities by Matassarianu's children, saying that he was murdered by neglect as he bled to death, because apparently the ambulance crews weren't allowed to attend to him and he bled to death. But a jury deadlocked 9-3 in favour of the city. It was noted that Matassarianu tried to surrender but was being very hostile and uncooperative. And the police didn't want the ambulance personnel to get into danger. And anyway, his children dropped the lawsuit to avoid being countersued for malicious prosecution. Outgunned watching the force come to a firefight with a pocket knife. Yeah. Well, the music was really good to listen to Megadeth again. I mean, Mustaine still has it, right? I know it's 2009, so it's still a few years ago, but this is, for me, more recent. But yeah, it was cool.